Hello everyone. In last few classes we have already studied about fixed angle representation, we have studied about Euler angle representation. In today's class we are going to study about equivalent angle axis representation. So what is the meaning of equivalent? Say you are coming from Delhi to Chennai. From Delhi you do not know how to come directly to Chennai, but you know how to come from Delhi to Mumbai, Mumbai to Hyderabad, Hyderabad to Chennai, you know it. So if you are following the second procedure, that means you are moving from Delhi to Mumbai, Mumbai to Hyderabad, Hyderabad to Chennai, then also you can reach. Your ultimate goal is to reach Chennai. You may follow any method, that is up to you. Now here also in robotics we are going to find out the similar kind of concept called equivalent angle axis representation. That means say we have got a manipulator which is moving from one place to another place. Now we do not know what will be the matrix form or what will be the mathematical representation if the end effector is moving from this place to this place. We do not know. Now but we know if we are moving from here to here, what will be the mathematical representation of it. If we are moving from here to here, what will be the mathematical representation of it, and if we are moving from here to here, then what will be the mathematical representation of it. So all together finally you will come to the same position or the end position or your desired position. Now in this case also we are going to perform the same operation. Say we have got a point A, or you are staying somewhere in point A, your ultimate goal is to reach at point D. Now as I have said, you can come from A to B, then you can move from B to C, and then you can move from C to D, right. So this is very simple thing, okay, but you are moving in very different paths, and also you have got an option that you will directly move from point A to D. So all these options are open to you, but you do not know the dimension and all of A to D, or you do not know the path, okay, but finally you reached to your goal. Now as I have said, you are well known about the distance between A and B. You know the distance between B and C. You know the distance between C to D, as well as you know the angle between AB and BC, as well as BC and CD. You know it, but you do not know what will be the angle between AB and AD. You do not know the angle between or the dimension of AD, or what is the length of AD. You do not know. Now this concept only we are going to use in equivalent angle axis representation of robotics. Means if we are moving one object from one place to another place, from different way we can bring it which is known way to us. Instead of going to unknown place, we will move through known places, and finally we will reach up to our goal, right. Now in order to perform it, we will take for example one 3D space or a block we have taken, as you can see. Then we have got x, y, z axis. So this one also we can represent as frame 1, which is available with us. Now we have chosen one point P, or one P we have located. Our intention is that if we draw O to P and we extend that line, so we will get another one axis or another one direction in that 3D frame. Now we are going to rotate O, actually here O will come, O term, OK, this one we are going to rotate by an angle theta, as you can see here, right. How to rotate it and how it will work? For example, you consider that X, Y, Z, this is one frame and this OK is also welded to the origin of our frame 1, right. Then if we are rotating this K, OK, if we are rotating, then what will happen? Automatically that whole frame 1 will get rotated by some angle theta, as you can see here. Now, if we are rotating by an angle theta, we will get another one axis, as you can see, or another one frame, as you can see. So, your ultimate goal is, if we are performing this operation, what will be the final matrix form or final representation in mathematical way. Now, frame 1 to frame 2, as I have said, we can go in some other path also. How to choose the path, or what is the method to be followed, or which is known to us, and we will multiply it, or we will move through some sequence, and finally we will be getting some output. How to do it? Now, first and foremost, we have to follow 5 steps. Step 1 is, you have to rotate the frame 1 with respect to z axis by an angle minus alpha. Minus alpha means we have to rotate the z axis in clockwise direction, not in counterclockwise direction. That is why it is written as minus alpha. Second step will be our y axis we have to rotate. Y axis of frame 1 we have to rotate, if we are specific, by an angle beta. That means here we have to rotate in anti-clockwise direction. Then step 3 will be, we have to rotate the x axis of frame 1 by an angle theta, which was represented already, or means our intention was OK will be rotated by an angle theta. So, that angle and this angle both should be same. Step 4, as you can see, we have to rotate the y axis by an angle minus beta. Once again, minus beta means we have to rotate the y axis in clockwise direction. And the final step is, we have to rotate the z axis once again by an angle alpha, as mentioned here. Okay, that means we have to rotate this z axis in anti-clockwise direction. Now, one by one we will perform all these operations, and then we will check whether we are getting the frame which we obtained after rotation of OK by an angle theta or not. Now, so if we are performing all these operations, as we know that we have to move from here to here, not from here to here. So, first what we did, Rz minus alpha, then Ry beta, then Rx theta, then Ry minus beta, okay, and then finally we did what, Rz alpha. So, that we have written at the beginning, clear. Now, as I said that we have to check whether it happens or not, whether all these 5 steps are giving us the desired result or not. Let us check. So, same diagram we have chosen once again, where we have got frame 1 having axis OX, Y and OZ. We have got the same point P, and we have got OK axis, about which we have to rotate it, or this one only we have to rotate by an angle theta. So, in order to perform this, our first step was, we have to rotate z axis by an angle minus alpha. That means, as you can see here, we have rotated z axis by an angle alpha in clockwise direction. Okay. If we are rotating in clockwise direction, what will happen? This k you see, OK, it will fall somewhere on this, okay, or this k or p point will lie here, right. So, you see our next point, we will get that only, and the position of y will come here, or it will be somewhere here, and x was here, which has moved to that side. That's what generally we will get. Okay. So now we are dealing with 4 axes. One is OX, then OY, OZ and OK also, right. So OK is represented here by yellow color, as you can see. Now next, our second step was what? We have to rotate y axis of frame 1 by an angle beta. That means we have to rotate in anti-clockwise direction only. So as we are rotating in anti-clockwise direction, that's why here we have represented the same thing. And for that we will see what will be the position of point P, or what will be the position of the OK. This beta, you should remember, the beta angle is always fixed. What will be the value of beta? We should rotate frame y or OY axis in such a way that the OK should coincide with OX. Remember, once again I am saying that we have to rotate this OY in such a way that OK, that means this yellow one, this one, okay, it will coincide with OX, right. So that will be the value of beta. As I have said, now once we have moved we have rotated OY by angle beta, so we got here OX and OK, both are coinciding with each other. Now the position and orientation of frame XYZ will be this one, as you can see, this red color frame. Now next, our third step was we have to rotate OX axis by an angle theta, which is in anti-clockwise direction. So after performing this, we will check what will be the position of OK, what will be the position of XYZ axis also. In this case, as we are rotating about OK only or OX only, that's why OK will be there only the position will change of OX, OY and OZ, as you can see in this diagram, right. Now next, our fourth step was what? We have to rotate OY or Y axis by an angle beta in clockwise direction. That means we have, that's why written here minus beta. If we perform it, then let's check what will be the position of OK, OX, OY and OZ. So you can see here, like once again this OK will move to this yellow line only, and remaining that blue color one, okay, or the sky blue color one is representing the direction, or you can say like the position of OX, OY and OZ. Now our next step is we have to rotate the OZ by an angle alpha in anti-clockwise direction. If we are performing it, then we will get the final position and orientation of our frame, last frame. Okay. So if we are performing it, you can see that here it goes our final or our concluded frame, which is frame 2. Now we will check whether this second frame is actually what we got in if we are rotating the OK axis, like I mean this axis, if we are rotating by an angle theta or not, same thing we are getting or not, we have to check. So in order to perform it, we have placed both the things. You can see here this diagram and this diagram, these both diagrams you can see, and this color, you can see this color, and here also you can see this color. Both these colors are same, or both these are representing us the same frame. That means after rotating OK by an angle theta, we will get same frame. or if we are performing all the 5 operations together one by one sequentially, then also we will get this. That means what we are getting here and what we are getting here both are same. That is the reason why both these two concepts are equivalent to each other. So this concept's name is equivalent angle axis representation. Now we have to find out the mathematical expression of it. So first of all, what we have seen here, as I have said, we have to go from right to left. Right side will be the first operation, left side will be our last operation or the latest operation which we did. So as you can see here, this is the latest operation, that means RZ alpha, okay, and this is our second last operation which was Ry minus beta, and this is our third operation which was Rx theta. Then here it goes, we have got the second operation was Ry beta, and we can see this is the first operation which we did. That means we have rotated z axis by an angle minus alpha. So here we have represented the same thing, okay. So already this, as I said, like sequential order we have to follow from right to left, not left to right, okay. Now next, if we are doing all the calculations, we do matrix multiplication, you will get something like this, or this kind of forms you will get. So which will be a very big term. In order to reduce this, or in order to reduce the effort, we have made something like there are many sine square terms, there are many cos square terms. So this sine square alpha, as you can see here, we are representing with ky by root under k2 square plus kz square plus ky square. Similarly, cos alpha also we have represented in this way, and we know sine square alpha plus cos square alpha is equal to 1. So from there we will get the value of ky, kx we can get from that equation, and also sin beta cos beta term also you can see as mentioned here, okay. So these representations if we are doing, then finally we will be getting the expression, that means 1 or 2. After performing equivalent angle axis representation, we will get something like this terminology. This terminology you have to remember if there is any problem which comes, or sometimes we may get full derivation also, like where you have to find out the value of v theta, where v theta is also 1 minus cos theta, okay. So this is what the concept called equivalent angle axis representation. So we have got the 5 steps, those 5 steps we have to perform one by one, and we will get the same result if like the result which we got in the previous case, same result only we are going to get here. So this is about today's topic. Next we will go to kinematics part, robot kinematics part, and we will learn about De Navit-Hartenberg's equation. Right. Thank you so much.